success. It's been a barren 3 years for them here since then. This is the side that Stuart Raper hopes will do the trick tonight. Radlinski at full-back, Carney, Renoff, Connolly and Hodgson, the three-quarter line. No Brett Dallas, he's injured. Johns and Lamb. The forward pack where the battle will rage. O'Connor, Newton and Howard. Cassidy, Ferner and Farrell just about at full strength. And on the bench, Cowie, Betts and two youngsters. Martin Aspinwall, who's 19, Stephen Wild, who's 20. The coach is Stuart Raper. Now Hull, they've trained really well all week. No reason, says Sean McRae, why they shouldn't perform on the big stage. And about as strong as they can get. Prescott at fullback, Rayner, Maiden, Horn and Crowther, Cook and Tony Smith. The forwards, Broadbent, King and Felsh, Marr, Grimaldi the skipper and the immaculate Jason Smith. And the substitutes, Bird, Jackson, Campbell and Logan. Only man missing, Steve Craven, coach Sean McRae. And out comes Tony Grimaldi. Stadium, the Super League playoffs about to get underway. The supporters here in the stadium have settled back into their seats. You settle back now, you've got the best seats in the house. And this is going to be pretty special over the next month or so. Match referee Russell Smith blows the whistle. Steve Prescott gets us underway. Adrian Lamb is underneath the kickoff, tips it inside to Harvey Howard. First confrontation between Harvey Howard and Paul King. The playoffs have started. This, for the top five, is where the big business of the season begins.
Well, you can see already that the Hull defence, they're trying to turn the ball carrier onto his back. They will mess around at the play the ball area. They will test the referee, Russell Smith. They want to slow things down. They know they can't match Wigan in the three quarters, but they can in the forwards.
Two very big hits already from Paul King. That was Luke Felsh, though, greeting Terry O'Connor. This is the last tackle. Lamb with the kick over the top, and it's in between Prescott and Rayner. And Rayner is the man funneling back to pick it up, and he gets away from Terry Newton, but he can't get away from the next two in. Ferner was there, and also there Matthew Johns.
Great work from the standoff, Johns there. That was a good kick, good chase too.
This is Matt Crowther. Crowther, who will do the goal kicking tonight. This is the way it looks since 1973 between these two in all meetings. You can see Wigan have an overwhelming advantage, and also in the town of Wigan. But Hull have got the first penalty of the match. Head-to-head in Super League 6 that is. Hull, well, they've been beaten twice.
Messing around there, and they just stole the ball according to the official. And Andy Farrell, the Wigan skipper, gave the official one heck of a long look there.
Felsh to his feet, plays the ball to Maiden. It goes inside to King. King then finds Jason Smith. Oh, the ball ricochets and went backwards. In fact, it ricocheted off a Wigan hand, so it's back to zero. And this is Paul Broadbent.
Little doubt about it. John's got a hand to that.
Decent enough start then for Hull. Grimaldi now. Tony Grimaldi, their captain, ever present this year, will rejoin the Canterbury Bulldogs next year. 1998 grand finalist down under. Tony Smith, good ball. Round the corner it goes. Prescott and Terry Newton was all round him. This is an excellent start from Hull. It's with Jason Smith. And on the inside, the call came from King. And here goes Cook. And Cook is over for the first try. A sensational start for Hull. And Sean McRae. What a start for the early birds. Cook with the try. Paul Cook, and it was fashioned down the middle, men in support, and a little crisis early for Stuart Raper.
All brought about by wonderful play by the loose forward Jason Smith. What a season he has had. He went out and then back on the inside under the blind. Beautiful work then Broadbent, and then finished off by Cook. Outstanding rugby league football. How many times has he done this season? Great work there by King to offload to Cook. What a start.
Just the start that Hull would have wanted. Paul Cook in fine form as he has approached these playoffs. And here is Matt Crowther from bang in front of the posts. 63 goals so far this year. And this as important a kick as he has ever had. Not a problem. Hull have raced into the lead. 6-0.
Look how he runs over into the open. See, they failed to fill in. They were very slow there. They sucked in Terry O'Connor. Huge gap. King offloads to Cook. And the early bird is flying early. Very early indeed. What a start. Well, I said that Hull perhaps would come to bottle the game up. Wigan was supposed to be doing the open style football. Well, they can confuse anyone, can't they?
Luke Felch to drive it in. Wigan stung by the opening here. They're trailing by 6 points to 0. And it's with Prescott who gets the ball away. Wigan now are hunting with a bit more venom. That's Adam Marr who takes the tumble. The runner here is Broadbent, who had his finest hour as captain of the Sheffield Eagles, who beat Wigan at Wembley in 1998. Jason Smith hands it wide. They've got men on the overlap. This is Cook, and what a good job that Cassidy got a hand to him.
And only just got him by the scruff of the neck. A little bit out of sorts in this defensive line of Wigan at the moment. We saw there the hesitation of Terry O'Connor going out wide, but it was the inability for Wigan to fill in that gap that allowed Jason Smith to send through the hooker. A wonderful, wonderful passage of play.
Tony Smith with the kick downfield just to turn Wigan around and settle things down. Tony Smith, 2 grand finals with Wigan, 1998 and last year. That was his last match for Wigan. And then he went up to Humberside to join Sean McRae's bandwagon for Super League 6.
Well, he's experienced 2 grand finals already. He's got experience out there. We've already noted that Jason Smith, of course,
and Grimaldi, who's in there with Smith in that tackle.
Yeah, they certainly know what's happening out there, and this is a wonderful start to them. And as long as they can keep this defence up, the one thing that Sean McRae has been pleased with the whole side over the past 5 or 6 weeks is not so much of their attacking ability, but the strength that they've had in their defence. It's improved each week.
Just thought for a moment then that ball came free from Mick Cassidy.
Well, it bobbled a bit, didn't it? It certainly did a bit.
It was lost. Here come Wigan, trying to respond with Connolly. He's away from Horn. Just did enough though, Richard Horn, and then came back for a second attempt at him as Connolly tried to get to his feet, and Connolly has hurt the arm. There's a problem there for Connolly. That's a kick over the top from Matty Johns, and here comes Steve Prescott.
Good tackle there, but as you say, big problems for the centre, Gary Connolly. He doesn't look happy with it. I was just about to say, was that a sign of things to come? We saw Connolly just breeze past Richard Horn, the youngster in the centres.
Offside against Wigan now. This is the incident with Connolly. He hits the deck, and of course he was out, and he grimaces there. Out for 10 matches earlier this year with a shoulder problem.
Well, Sean McRae has to get the message out to the youngster Richard Horn that he cannot start going high on this fella. Gary Connolly, probably one of the Super League players with the strength, upper body strength, the strongest in the game. And if you go high, it'll swat you off just like a fly.
From the penalty, Hull restart, and here is Grimaldi coming down the short side, but Cassidy and Farrell waiting with the ambush. 7 minutes gone, Hull ahead by 6 points to 0, and Gareth Rayner in back play is receiving treatment. So Hull with this attack with only 12 men in support, but Rayner now jogging back to take his place. This meanwhile is Jason Smith. He finds Tony Smith. Great tackle, super tackle from Matthew Johns. Pat on the back for him from Adrian Lamb. Here now is Jason Smith. He comes wide to the try scorer Cook. Cook then gives it to Grimaldi.
He's causing all sorts of problems in the Wigan defence. In Jason Smith already standing first receiver. They don't know whether he's going to go wide, bring it back on the inside. He really has them confused.
And here he is again. That's a great ball, and that's Luke Felch. And it was a good tackle from Matthew Johns with Terry O'Connor. Broadbent is there. Back it goes to Jason Smith. 1-pointer. Oh, he sliced it.
Good option, not good execution. And that didn't surprise me. It wasn't the best pass there from Broadbent. He had to reach away, and it just put him off from it slightly there. But he's going to be the architect, that there's no doubt. And that didn't surprise me that Hull were looking for that 1 point.
Here is Cassidy. Cook takes him low down, helped out by Grimaldi, who was already having a captain's knock. Big possession in Hull's favour. Lamb stretches, finds Johns. Here is Connolly. Horns after him, gets him this time. Brian Carney, the Irish international at dummy half. Cook again, working hard.
Wonderful work there.
On halfway, it's Wigan with Lamb. Back on the inside, it goes to Farrell. Good tackle, low down by Broadbent, finished off by Luke Felch. It's with Newton. Newton now, and the kick from Johns. Prescott's after it. It bounced nicely in the end, and Prescott can maybe turn defence into attack. Good harrying by Brian Carney.
Not the best kick though. He was in a good position with Steve Prescott. He's had a tremendous year, playing at his top of his form. And Wigan have to get themselves sorted out a little bit. They were, well, not at the best with that kick then.
Quick play the ball though from Hull. This is Paul King. He gets away from Harvey Howard.
Newton. Right in the mush. King felt it too.
And he has a little word with Terry Newton. Jason Smith goes to Paul Cook, one of the best kicking games in Super League, this youngster Paul Cook, only 20 years of age, and that's a great kick as well. It's turned Hodgson around. Maiden is after him, and Maiden's missed him. Normally so reliable in defence, but the double acts, Jason Smith and Tony Grimaldi are there again. Lamb now gets it wide to Farrell, and Farrell bounces off Cook. Jason Smith is there though as reinforcements.
So important to get two men to Farrell so he cannot offload. And yet we've seen it very early in the piece at Hull. We thought they wouldn't be kicking to Radlinski. They're going for the wings.
Harvey Howard on the charge now. Grimaldi stands his ground. With help from Broadbent, he's hauled down.
Power run as well, that's what's needed.
Here is Adrian Lamb. It goes wide to Matty Johns, looking for the runner. He was there as well, was David Furner. Great work from Adam Marr. Connolly, the dummy half. It's with Lamb again. He'll hoist the kick. Up in the air it goes. It's a real test of this for Gareth Rayner. Oh, Rayner comes up with it though.
Super kick. An outstanding take as well, under a lot of pressure there from David Hodgson, was Gareth Rayner.
Well, they call him the new Jason Robinson, and here he is on Jason Robinson's old stage. 10 3/4 minutes gone. Hull ahead 6-0 in this opening shot of the playoffs. Remember, whoever loses here does get another chance. There isn't that luxury on offer for the Saints and the Leeds Rhinos tomorrow. He's gone for the 40-20 as Jason Smith. It's a little bit too shallow, the angle though. And here is Brian Carney. It was a great kick just the same. And what a good chase. And of course Brian Carney, formerly with Hull. He came to Wigan last year during the close season. And he's found his way into the Great Britain squad as well. Radlinski, the runner is O'Connor. Hull are really getting into the faces of the Wigan side.
Well, they know that they've got to try to just knock them off their balance. They're doing that. And they're forcing Wigan into one-out football. Wigan have to realise if they're going to beat this Hull side, they've got to get it and pin it out wide.
The ball's come back on the inside and Lamb couldn't take it.
No advantage, they'll play the scrum. First knock on. Off Adrian Lamb.
Oh, it's head and feet to Hull.
Oh, now then. Well, he's claimed that Luke Felch has got a finger to this.
He did as well.
Well, he did, but was it going forward? Yes, according to the official. Yep. That's wonderful, picked up there by Russell Smith. Unbelievable. He was in a good position. The Hull fans don't like it, but the officials got it right.
It's a big call, and it just could be one that turns the course of history. This is Matthew Johns, tackled by King, helped out by Felch. Here goes Terry Newton from dummy half. It's with Farrell, and Farrell shows it. And across comes Cook and Jason Smith. Sean McRae, calm, collected in the stands. I bet he's bubbling inside. It's with Lamb, and here now O'Connor drives it into the face of Felch. Takes 3 to bring the big prop forward down. This is the first threat on the whole line. Newton to Lamb, and Lamb is almost through.
Just got to him there, Prescott, put him off the balance. Grimaldi finished him off.
Andy Farrell is over. Well, what a big call that was for Stuart Raper and Wigan from referee Russell Smith. He saw the fingertips of Luke Felch produce the first knock on, and from that scrum, Wigan get over the line for an Andy Farrell try.
Boy, oh boy, they needed that. And Andy Farrell knows it too. Captain's knock. This is the incident. John's back on the inside. Felch just gets a fingertip to it before Adrian Lamb touches the football, and that was a soft try. After such good work in defence from the Hull side, Sean McRae will not be happy with that. It was just a straight one pass and dive over.
Andrew Farrell, the Wigan captain, the captain of Great Britain, of course, in the forthcoming Test series against Australia, and a man who has made it into the mythical dream team for the 5th year in a row, and more than 2,500 career points now in this fellow's career. Well, this should be 6-all. The Hull fans behind those sticks doing their best to put Farrell off. But this kick for 6 apiece. It looks easy, but Farrell composing himself, knows it's important and gets the 2. Scores a level.
Great work from Andy Farrell. You see, he makes it look as though he's going to run for the post, but when he does, he just veers away. Oh, that's great stuff.
Well, the first time really that the Hull line was threatened in this match, and that will encourage Wigan because they are over the line for the try. 6-all. The opening shots of the playoff series 2000. We expected it to be pretty tight between the teams finishing 2nd and 3rd in the table, and so far it has been, thanks to tackling like this from Hull. Quarter of an hour gone. First change, Lee Jackson coming on for Paul King. And Bill has got some news on Paul King. Bill?
Yeah, he's gone straight to the dressing room. This one's not one for the squeamish, so Steve-O better put his fingers in his ears, because Paul King has got a really nasty gash on one of his fingers. A bit of a mystery injury, this. He's going to need stitches, but it's a very nasty cut.
And a bit of a high shot by Tony Smith on David Furner, was it? Furner wasn't terribly impressed. And there is Paul King, about to be patched up by the medical staff from Hull. He's a tough hombre, is Paul King, and he will have to be.
Well, I wouldn't say that was untoward. Over the shoulder. Well, I think he's been a bit unfortunate there. Either way, it certainly must have looked high to the official. And talking about Paul King on a finger like that, it's looks to me as though he's had a stray boot, you know, the odd stamp.
Well, maybe so. Terry Newton, the dummy half for Wigan. Here is David Furner, who was the victim of the high shot in the view of Russell Smith. And here now is Farrell. And Farrell trying to straighten them up, and another great tackle from Grimaldi. Cook was there as well. Terry Newton. Here is O'Connor. O'Connor drives it into within 3 meters of the line. Now this is more danger here for Hull. A couple of tackles left for Wigan. Lamb will run the angle, and he'll drop it back to Farrell, who will nip it back to Furner. And Furner just losing it a little bit, but then Lamb is gobbled up by David Maiden.
Now they will the kick for the corner.
There is the kick, but straight into the breadbasket of Jason Smith, and Hull launch the counter-attack through Jackson. Somehow he gets the ball away, and here is Tony Smith.
Got caught going too high there on the little half-back. What a great take, though, by the loose forward, Jason Smith. Not the best kick yet again from Andy Farrell. He's out of sorts in the kicking department.
Grimaldi, who's seen a ton of the football already tonight. Here now is Gareth Rayner, running flat, and getting the pass away. Risky business. They've lost ground. Good job the Crowther was there.
Sean McRae wouldn't be pleased with that at all. Take your opportunities, yes, but when you're so deep in your own half, you've got to make sure.
Big hoof downfield from Jason Smith. It's not going to go for a 40-20 because Hodgson has funneled back in. And now then, how good is the Hull chase? Not bad. And it's led by Maiden.
And yet again, they've kept the ball well away from the fullback, Chris Radlinski.
This is Steve Renoff, nearly through, and Broadbent with a very important tackle. Here goes Connolly from dummy half, away from Cook, not away though from Lee Jackson. Jackson looked for all money as though he was gone for the rest of the season when he had that awful injury earlier on, but he's come back, and he's come back strongly to force his way back into playoff contention. Good ball from Lamb to Farrell again, and great pass from Farrell. Here come Wigan, so dangerous. That's David Furner.
Good run from the big second rower as well.
They're attacking the line. Good ball from Connolly, looked a touch forward. Carney can go on with it, and Carney will score! Carney scores for Wigan. They can't go to the video referee for a possible forward pass, but my angle here made that look just a touch forward. But the referee was convinced everything was all right. And Brian Carney comes up with a try against his former club.
Great work on the blind side there. Oh, that was superb from Lamb, and I'm with you, Eddie. In fact, the two passes in that combination looked a bit dodgy. Carney took full advantage. The one from Lamb, to me, looked a bit... No, the momentum rule, that's okay, but it's this one. And that looked okay from that angle. That's fine. And they paid the price. Prescott really should have gone low. There'd be no chance of Carney getting inside.
No, nothing wrong with the passes. Just, again, the deception of the angle as we watch from high up here on centre line. And of course at ground level it looks so different, and that's why Russell Smith came up with the correct call then. Well, they're behind their own post because they've just conceded the second try, and against one of their former players as well, Brian Carney. He was in the side that beat Wigan in the Challenge Cup last year, this fellow, the Irish international. Boy, he's had to be patient and wait his chance in the Wigan side this year. But every time we've seen him, he's shown up well. Now then, Andy Farrell with this kick to make it 12-6 after being 6-0 down early. "12-6 it is. Wigan beaten grand finalists last year, inaugural grand final winners in 1998 with just the upper hand.
Look at the gap, and they allowed Lamb all that room to move. What on earth was Tony Smith doing there with his hands on his hips? Well, it deserved a try, mainly due to the fact that this whole defence, who I've been praising in the opening minutes, has just absolutely fallen apart. Too many standing around, failing to fill the gap. That was huge.
Ball just bounces off the legs of Lamb. Is picked up by Radlinski. And Hull hurtling downfield from the kickoff. This is Harvey Howard. Good tackling though again from this Hull side. Well, let's go down to pitch side and see what Phil Clark's making of all this.
It looks like pretty hard work for the Hull players at the moment. The vast majority of possession in the last 10 or so minutes in with Wigan, and they're completely in control. Maybe as Steve-O pointed out, when they do kick, maybe they're better if they can try to find touch, get some break in play. Wigan, of course, wanting to keep it alive. You see, keeping the ball on the field and backing their chances against the Hull side with a race of fitness in it as the chase has gone up there.
Hull then trailing, having led early, and in possession here with Richard Horne. Good tackle low down by Matthew Johns. And here they come again, Hull, in the shape of Adam Marr.
That's a lot better from the Wigan defence. You can see they're coming round in that umbrella. They're forcing them down the middle.
Here's Paul Cook, whose try gave them such hope in the opening minutes. Maiden, though, but terrific defence from Wigan. Oh, that looked a little dangerous. The ball was stolen anyway in the tackle.
A little doubt the official, Russell Smith, giving the penalty, trying to spin him around. You can see there Cassidy just saying it's mine, and it's not. Cassidy will come in and rip the ball away. Well, he's on fine form, is the mini whistleblower, Russell Smith.
And they're going to kick at goal here, Hull.
That's good thinking.
They've decided they're 40 metres out in centre field, and for Matt Crowther, this is kickable.
Well, more importantly to this Hull side is that it's just taking the pressure off. They can slow things down. They've stopped this roll that Wigan have suddenly gone onto. The purple patch, first Farrell with a try, and then Carney. And Sean McRae knows, you know, that both those tries could have been prevented. It was just poor defence.
Sean McRae in the foreground with the Hull hat on, and of course behind Billy Boston, who we see every time we come to the JJB Stadium. Behind him is Stuart Raper. So the coach is not too far away, and if this sails over, the scores won't be too far away either. 12-6 now, and 12-8 if Crowther kicks this. So tight, playoff football. Little decisions by the referee, kicks missed drop goals, they could all count dearly at the end of the night. Crowther then with the kick. It's on its way. And he's kicked it. That's a great kick from Crowther.
Just the lift that they needed. They were being put on the rack. Wigan were getting forward with ease. They failed to do that in the opening 15 minutes. I'm sure that Sean McRae's got the message down. So let's revert back to what we displayed in that open 15. And that was a pressure kick there.
Was a pressure kick, and it puts, importantly, Hull back to within a converted try of taking the lead again. A lead they held briefly at the start of this match. They scored after just 3 minutes, and they held the lead for 10. Felsh plays the ball to Prescott, who goes down the short side to Adam Marr. O'Connor gets to him with the tackle, helped out by Gary Connolly. And there is Paul King back on the field again with stitches in the hand. That was well picked up by Jason Smith. There is Richard Horne. Here now is David Maiden. Farrell missed him, but Cassidy certainly didn't. Grimaldi now. So many of this Hull pack, Steve-o, with experience of playoff football in Australia. Grimaldi one of them. And that is very, very important.
Sure it is, and they know that that finesse is not going to be something that they're going to display. They've just got to roll the sleeves up and get on with it.
Good play and a high kick from Jason Smith, a tester for Hodgson. Oh, Rayner took him out completely.
Well, that was silly play.
Well, I don't know what Rayner was thinking about then. He just ran straight into Hodgson.
Yeah. And it was a superb kick from Jason Smith.
Well, if he'd have contested the ball, there was a chance he might have come up with it.
Yeah, he's got to go for it, doesn't he? All he's done is just relieve the pressure. And I can assure you, when a winger comes up with dumb football like that, the forward who kicked it is far from impressed.
Logan there is on, number 28 with Felsh, and also with Paul King. This is Cassidy. He couldn't get away from Cook. He can't get away from King either. He lost control, didn't Mick Cassidy? And he's saying that he was being impeded and pushed and shoved. He might have a case.
Yeah, he lost it. It was actually by the time he got to the ground. He could have been penalised anyway for not regaining his feet first and then placing the ball, as the rule suggests or states. Oh, missed opportunity.
So Hull are back in possession, and it's the bald head of David Maiden. Now here is Tony Smith. Misses out Jason Smith, finds Prescott, and Prescott gets away from one and is still going. Hodgson was in there, so too was Cassidy. Here goes Gareth Rayner now, having a little scamper himself from dummy half. That's better play from the winger. He's taken Hull to within 22 metres of the line. It's with Grimaldi now, and here is Logan to drive it in.
Now then, what does Jason Smith have up his sleeve?
Well, they're 10 metres away. King, they're coming this way with Cook. Grimaldi asked for it and got it.
What a tackle from Lamb.
Great tackle from Lamb. Cook at dummy half, finds Jason Smith. Smith then pops it back to Luke Felsh. Felsh gets it away forward. Oh, big call. What a call.
What
Smith
a position.
thinks he scored.
What a position that he was in there, Russell Smith. That was great play, though.
Play ball, Teddy.
Wonderful stuff. No doubt about it being forward. It was good work from Luke Felsh. It certainly deserved a try. And the point that I'm trying to make, Eddie, is that you often... Oh, Carney's taking a quick one. He's on his way.
He's on his own too.
The point I was trying to say is that Jason Smith, he went down the open side, and it fooled yet again this Wigan defence. They didn't anticipate it coming back from the blind.
Well, an opportunity wasted there, and well, I say wasted, it was called back for a forward pass. Harvey Howard hits some spins, gives it to Newton, who finds Farrell, and Farrell in turn finds Cassidy. And Hull desperate to haul him down, and they do via Cook and Jason Smith. Newton, Wigan looking venomous in attack. Farrell, it goes inside to Lamb and wide then to Connolly. And Connolly taking them on. And Richard Horne just got a hand to him, and Crowther was there as well. Carney, the dummy half. It's now with Matty Johns. Johns attacking the line. Felsh is there. Marr is there to wrap him up. Last tackle this set of 6 for Wigan. Newton, they go down the short side. A dab to the in-goal area.
Too long.
Oh, there was a real race on. So close. And Stuart Raper knows it. Carney just beaten by the pace of the kick.
Neat option yet again. Andy Farrell was on the open side, and they fully expected that he would be putting the kick in, but he went on that blind side again. So both sides, they're trying their best to just confuse the opposition. He's having a fine game though, is Lamb.
He is.
Andy Farrell again, offside.
Offside against Andy Farrell.
Well, to be fair, Hull have weathered the storm. It looked at one point that when Farrell and Carney went over for tries in quick succession, that maybe the heads would have gone down, but none so.
Well, 7 penalties in the opening 29 minutes of the match, and there's a Wigan player flat out as Jason Smith attacks the Wigan defence again. Feeds a little pass to Tony Smith, and the referee holds the clock up because Mick Cassidy is down, injured, and he's in the defensive line, is Cassidy. Or should be.
Time off, lads, please.
But we just didn't get his head onto the side, and that can have serious consequences. Any youngster who's watching know perfectly well through their coaching manual that you've got to make sure your head goes either side. He just couldn't get it to the left quick enough, and when Grimaldi came at him, but he's a tough cookie.
Well, he's going to take a breather, and rightly so. Takes the breather as Mick Cassidy, and he's replaced by Dennis Betts. Now then, here is Felsh for Hull. The tackle count restarts.
That could have been a flop there from Cowie. He was very late into the tackle.
This is Paul Cook, and Cook delays it for Grimaldi. Good tackling by Farrell. They're 9 metres away. Maiden to Jason Smith. Fires the pass wide to Tony Smith. A little dab through, and Radlinski picks up, and he will launch the next Wigan attack.
Oh, that was a lovely little grubber kick through, but equal to the task was that man yet again. Chris Radlinski has had little to do so far, but he took that under a lot of pressure. That was quick thinking.
First touch for Dennis Betts. Plays the ball to Newton. Here's Farrell again. Connolly's on his inside. Good tackle again from Jason Smith. The talisman for Hull, there's no doubt about that. Betts. Talking to Sean McRae yesterday, he said he thinks that maybe Jason Smith has been building up for this playoff series. Not saving himself necessarily, but winding himself up for a huge effort.
Well, he knows the grind about playoff football, that is for sure.
Last tackle here.
With Canterbury and Parramatta, had plenty of experience in that department.
Dink over the top is gathered in by Crowther. Then the chasers close for the kill.
Much better chase as well from Wigan there. Matthew Johns in Danape, he's working overtime. And it was a little bit lax in the opening 10 minutes in the Wigan defence, but they've tightened it up now. Now they're forcing Hull into one-out football.
King, the dummy half. Jason Smith hands it on. And this is Scott Logan, who falls and releases it. Was risky. Did it go back? Is that a knock-on by Connolly?
It'll be play on.
And here's the chase, and Richard Horne's after it. And Horne will take safety first. Now then, the touch judge has stood his ground. I think there was a little knock-on in there. I don't know which way.
Great work, though, from Richard Horne.
Connolly's knocked it on.
Connolly's knocked it on, is the report.
Hold head and ball, okay?
Yeah. We saw the incident earlier where the referee, Luke Felsh, was deemed to have knocked on, just a little touch. And this you'll see, Gary Connolly just had a little bit of a bobble at it. Doesn't have to hit the ground straight away, as long as it's a forward motion. But quick thinking, though, by Richard Horne. He was going to take no chance whatsoever. Well, we can do without that, Gary.
I don't think he's impressed with the touch judge's decision.
Yeah, but we can do without gestures like that pointing to his eyes, saying that obviously the touch judge is lacking in that department.
Well, let's get some news on Mick Cassidy. Bill, downstairs.
It looked bad, Eddie, but thankfully Mick Cassidy does know where he is, and his marbles are all still there. He was in fact coming off at about that time anyway, so Wigan decided to bring him off just a couple of minutes early.
Good enough, that's good news. This is Hull in possession again, and it's Paul Cook once more, who plays it to King. King then to Jason Smith. Back on the inside it goes to Logan Campbell, and he, as he falls, releases the ball again, as does King to Prescott. Prescott, who was tangled with this Wigan side many times in his days with the Saints of St Helens. Here is King again. That's a good run. And
that's the mouth guard went straight out. Little doubt that it was a good hit there from Cowie, because the mouth guard of Kings went flying. He's going looking for it now.
Tony Smith, just a little dummy, but Andy Farrell wasn't fooled by this. Last tackle, and it's with Jason Smith, and he'll hoist the kick out wide. Now here's another test for Hodgson. Maiden's after this. Maiden's got it, and Maiden's got the try. Maiden has got the try. The referee, though, will hand it on to the video just to check whether David Maiden was onside. Well, this is a big call now for John Holsworth, the video referee tonight.
Yet again, a beautiful kick by Jason Smith. We knew they were going to keep the ball away from Redlinski. We knew they were going to pepper the wingers, especially David Hodgson. Oh, he's onside by a mile. No doubt about this. This is going to be TRY. And for those ardent fans that have come across the Pennines from Hull, this will be TRY, and listen to the cheer when this comes through. No doubt in my mind. I don't know why the video referee wants to take a second look.
Well, he's just checking that he's full control.
Of course he's got full control.
Well, David Maiden scored in the Challenge Cup when they won in the quarter-finals, and he scored again tonight. And the scores are level at the JJB Stadium, and David Maiden, the Scottish international, and he has scored a priceless try for Hull.
Well, how important is this man, the loose forward Jason Smith? Absolutely superb kick. And we saw before that Gareth Rayner didn't bother going for the football. They made a real mess of that, but not on this occasion. Maiden in for a vital try.
Yes, they've all started to hit form at just the right moment for Hull. And Matt Crowther now, this kick to give Hull the lead. That's the angle he has. Oh, he's hit the post. It's level at the JJB Stadium. Great contest building between Wigan and Hull. Sean McRae passing the info down to the sideline.
Nerves are jangling, and a coat of paint perhaps could be the difference between the two sides come the 80th minute.
Well, they've lost their last 10 visits to Wigan in League and Cup football over the past 9 years. Their most recent win was in September 1992. 9 long years ago, they won 14-13 at Old Central Park. It's level pegging here at the JJB Stadium. Just over 5 minutes to go to half-time. Word of warning for Hull. This is where Wigan are very, very dangerous.
That's why it's important that Hull just keep hold of this football, make sure that their kick and chase is quite superb. Oh, it's a great run there from Paul King.
Stuart Raper knows he's in a real battle. Here goes Jason Smith. Jason Smith still. Great run.
What a battle royal it is between Jason Smith and Andy Farrell, two great rugby league players. Now then, will Hull do another drive, or will they go for the 1 point so far out?
It's the last tackle. Oh, and Jason Smith with the knock on. It's going to be the turnover. It wasn't the best pass.
No. And he knows it too. And it was always dipping forward. And they really wanted to kick into the corner, or maybe go for that 1 point. Now then, can Wigan launch? They normally do.
Well, they do. This is the danger time for opposition when they play Wigan, just before the half-time siren, when clubs think that maybe they have done their work in the opening 40. Wigan have just enough time.
Mistake there.
It was by O'Connor, and so Hull have got it back with Jason Smith again.
He's in no rush. He knows that there's just 4 minutes going. And whilst they have the ball, Wigan can't score.
Here is Prescott. Prescott almost up the middle. Very good tackle by Ferner. Matthew Johns over the top. Here is Luke Felch to drive it in again. Hull creeping towards those posts.
Now it's Wigan's turn to hang back. They're confused.
It's with Paul Cook. Ball back on the inside. Logan Campbell.
What a hit from Newton.
Big hit, and it was needed.
Woof.
Grimaldi, Jason Smith, the little dab through, but Radlinski's there. Radlinski reads the script, and he will launch the attack.
Neat little chip over. He got the bounce. It was a big question to be asked by the fullback Radlinski there, who allowed it to bounce and got away with it. Hasn't got much time to make a decision.
Steve Renoff. Big hit from David Maiden. Penalty.
Oh, it's not the right time to be given away 30-40 metres by that. He did all the hard work and then just gave them this opportunity to just put them on the rack yet again.
It is an opportunity. 2 3/4 minutes remaining to half-time. It's with Newton at dummy half. Here now is Adrian Lamb. The runner is Chris Radlinski. It goes wide to Johns. Further wide then to Connolly. But Connolly all wrapped up by Richard Horne.
Well, he only missed one tackle early in the piece, and Richard Horne has just been sticking to Connolly like glue ever since.
This is Neil Cowie now. Connolly again, the dummy half. He's found Adrian Lamb. Adrian Lamb with a little drop of the shoulders, and Matthew Johns thought he was through.
What a great tackle from Felso.
Very important, but here is Newton, and Newton will spin it wide to Carney, and Carney fancies his own chances. He's taking them on single-handedly. Carney just cut down.
Well,
Last tackle.
Good job that someone thought about going for the legs. 4 tried.
And that's a lovely kick through, and a chance for Radlinski. Has Radlinski got it? He thinks he has.
He'll check for onside. I think that's okay. And then he'll check for the grounding.
Let's check Chris Radlinski was onside. Have a look at the grounding, very close to whether there was 1 or 2 men hold the ball.
Was the player Radlinski onside? And what about the grounding? Well, Radlinski's onside.
He was onside, no doubt about that. Now they'll go to the camera behind the sticks. Well, that's okay.
This will tell the story.
Beautiful kick. He just got a ricochet. Oh yeah, that's a try. I think they'll go frame for this, but I think he's got it. I've seen them given. I'm going to go for TRY on this one. Yep.
Oh, what a call for John Holsworth this is. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, he's got it down, no doubt about it. Only has to be down for a split second, and that is what he had it down for. This is TRY. I'll put my house, swimming pool, you call it. Even the garage. Throw him a bicycle as well.
Well, he's mile
onside. Yeah, I don't know why he's going for that one. But in pressure rugby league football, you've got to make sure.
He wants another look, and why not?
Well, that's a try for mine. He's not happy, is he?
No.
There's a doubt in his mind.
He's got to be right on a night like this.
But I'm sure it's TRY.
And you are right. The try is given. Sean McRae leaves his seat. Radlinski, he's had a quiet evening so far, but that's try number 28 of the year. And again, Wigan have done it right on the bell of half-time. They've come up with the goods.
Well, it's phenomenal how they can do that. And it just makes you wonder whether, if Grimaldi had just let this go rather than just slowing the ball down, whether the speed of it would have gone. Could Jason Smith have gone for the football rather than trying to prevent Radlinski?
Well, Andrew Farrell has added the extras. There's a whole player in the in-goal area there receiving treatment. It's 18-12 here. Wigan have sneaked it on the bell, courtesy of their superstar of the year, their leading try scorer, Super League's top try scorer, Chris Radlinski.
Well, David Maiden will be kicking himself, and I'm sure that Sean McRae would like to get a bit of a hit in and too.
That is the first try that Chris Radlinski scored in playoff football, by the way.
Time up, please.
Well, your mind wanders back to that incident. It was a beautiful tackle by Maiden, and then he messed around with Steve Renouf.
Well, it's also, you think about the inches that decide success and failure. The forward pass that was pulled back there for Sean McRae's hull.
Yep.
And he's not too impressed, I don't think, with that decision.
Well, it's a bitter blow, isn't it? Just with seconds remaining of this first half. They fought back ever so well. Showed a lot of spirit of this whole side.
And there's still 40 minutes to go. And here is Renoff. And Renoff is wrapped up by David Maiden. They're having to do a lot of work in defence though, Hull, aren't they? They've been on the rack at times in terms of possession. I just wonder whether that will have a bearing on the overall outcome. This is Adrian Lamb, and they fancy more. They fancy more. Was that a footing touch from Renoff? It was obstruction anyway.
Yeah. Now then, is this going to be a chance with only seconds remaining? This will be a kick into the corner, and then beautiful play there, wasn't it?
Well, there wasn't a foot in touch. It was the obstruction
from David Hodgson, but Gareth Rayner was running towards his own try line. This will be a kick into. Oh no, they're going to go up in the air.
It's a hit and hope from Jason Smith, and that will bounce between the two. It's bounced ever so kindly. Oh no, it hasn't. It's bounced ever so cruelly. Lamb is dumped into touch by Steve Prescott. Well, an absolutely crucial video referee decision right on the stroke of half-time. But Adrian Lamb, with the pearler of a black eye, must have picked that up against St Helens last week. And Wigan just edge it by 18 points to 12. But we promised you intensity. We promised you that this would be pretty tight. And on the scoreline, it is 18 points to 12. And Sean McRae waiting for his men inside that dressing room. In many ways, he'd be very happy with what he's seen, but I don't think he was too impressed with the decision in the last minute that gave the try to Chris Radlinski. Hull had a 6-point lead after 3 minutes. Then they were hit by tries from Farrell and Carney. They hit back with a try of their own from Maiden, and then Radlinski came up with this try in the last minute, and that's why Wigan have an 18 points to 12 lead at half-time.
Long kicking game.
Andy Farrell gets us in progress. A little juggle of the foot by Steve Prescott. He tips it inside to Luke Felch. They just delayed fatally, and that allowed the Wigan chase from the kick-off to move forward. Dion Bird is on. That's his distinctive head guard. There he is. And Tony Smith is the man who's gone off. Well, that could be a crucial blow, and I call it a blow. It surely couldn't be tactics, or could it?
Well, I don't think so, Eddie. I think that probably tells us the reason why he was so quiet in that first half. Maybe he went into this game with an injury. It looks that way, because I can't remember him taking any knockout there during the first half.
Well, the fact that he has moved off the field, it means that Richard Horne moves in to scrum half, and the big kick downfield is fielded by David Hodgson. Let's get the news of that change for Hull and other emphasis that was placed on this match in the dressing room at half-time. Bill.
Yeah, Tony Smith has picked up a groin injury. You could see at the end of the first half when Chris Radlinski scored that try, Tony Smith was down in the in-goal area, had to have treatment. It is a groin injury. They've taken him off. Dion Bird has come on. Now, whether it's just a case of preserving Tony Smith for what might lie ahead for Hull FC, Sean McRae has taken that decision. Nevertheless, the Hull coach delighted with that first half effort from his side, looking for much the same from them, just hoping that they can keep the pressure on this Wigan side, because it has got to Wigan, and they acknowledge, their coach Stuart Raper and his team acknowledge that Hull are giving them a game. Raper wants his side to be more confident in the tackle, because Hull are feeding off that. Wigan are getting drawn 1 and 2 players into the tackle, and it's giving Hull a bit more opportunity. And Wigan, according to their coaching team, have got to be confident in the tackle, tight around the play the ball, and they've really got to play with a bit more spirit in this second half. They know they're in a game.
They are in a game. There's only 6 points between the two, and Hull in possession here with Gareth Rayner. 3 players, though, converging on him for the tackle, including the 2 prop forwards, O'Connor and Cowie. Now then, the kick again from Jason Smith is all down the line, and Radlinski traps it with the outside of the boot, and will bring this ball back for the Wigan Warriors. And Radlinski, he's almost through again. Very good tackle by Felch.
Worked overtime as a prop forward, Luke Felch, especially in that first half. Big hit from Logan there.
Logan, yes, and Dion Bird bringing Hodgson down and chasing after Carney here. And David Maiden and Jason Smith. And Maiden could have been done for the flop. And in fact, he's hurt his own player. Jason Smith is down. This is Dennis Betts. Well, they've lost Tony Smith. Surely they're not going to lose Jason Smith. They're going down the short side of Wigan. David Maiden, great defence. The ball comes free.
Oh, the the big problem now, Jason Smith, if they lose him, Hull. Good defence though from Maiden. No doubt about it, that the arm hit the whitewash. This is the incident.
Oh, and it was Maiden who hit the arm, I think, of Jason Smith. It was. He clutches his elbow immediately. Maiden could have been penalised for the flop, but it could be far more serious than that, because that arm was trapped underneath. Here, watch. Oh!
Oh, yeah. Deary me. All for the sake of a flop.
I think the signal's gone out that he's had it.
Yeah, I think that's, well, I hate to say it, but I think that's broken. Crunch. Oh. Yeah. Either that or a dislocated elbow, Eddie. I mean, it was upturned and... Well,
it's a massive blow. That is a massive blow for Hull.
I mean, that's like taking an engine out the Rolls Royce.
Well, he knows without Jason Smith, Logan Campbell coming on to fill in for him in fairness, but he knows it's going to be a huge ask. But he won't be giving it up. And the medical staff will be taking a look and seeing if they can get him back on the field, but it doesn't look good.
Well, he's one of the toughest players running around Super League, I can assure you, is Jason Smith, and if it is a dislocated elbow, he'll be in a lot of pain, or, as I mentioned, the chance of it being a break is pretty high with a collision like that.
In my humble opinion, he was the best player on the field until that moment.
You get little doubt from me over that as well. And I was just about to make the point that, OK, Tony Smith had lost a big blow to them, but moving Richard Horne back into the half-back position, where he does enjoy playing more than in the centres.
Brian Carney's away from Crowther, and Brian Carney fancies a dash down the wing, and Carney's on his way, and they bundle him into touch though. His bottom hit the line.
What a great break.
And what a good chase by Bird and Horne.
It just shows you the power of this guy and the speed. And the message is quite clear, you've got to go low on him. Scored that wonderful try in the first half when they all tried to go above the rib cage.
Well, if that would have been a try up the other end, having just lost Jason Smith, I think that you could have written Hull's chances off in an instant. As it is, they're still very much in it.
Yeah, they won't throw the towel in. They've shown some really gutsy displays this season.
Here's Prescott. He gets it wide to Luke Felsh. And Felsh trying to get away from Betts and O'Connor.
And this is where the responsibility now does come onto the shoulders of the two youngsters, Paul Cook, Richard Horne. They've got to be adventurous. This is where, and this could be the night where both of them stand up and become Supermen.
Great tackle by Ferner on Prescott. Quick play the ball though. Here is Paul King. King attacking the heart of the Wigan defence. O'Connor standing there.
More of that is needed as well.
Last tackle.
Oh, there's no one there.
They've played the ball to nobody.
They've lost the plot. Deary me. Oh, well, the wheel was turning there, Eddie, but the hamster was dead. I mean, I can't believe it. How on earth could they do that? This lack of concentration. Well, there was a square, but either way, you should have someone in. Oh, that will be absolutely agony for Sean McRae.
It will be if Wigan score from it. And this is Adrian Lamb.
Well, every time Hull have come up with a boo-boo, they did it in the first half.
Oh, they've got the penalty now.
Well, they scored 2 tries from a penalty.
And there is Adrian Lamb taking a quick tap. Suddenly the wheel of fortune has turned against them. Here is Cowie. He offloads. Radlinski gets it to Ferner. It's all hands to the pumps defensively now. Ferner offloads.
Oh, great work there.
Who's got it?
Oh, it looked there.
Back to one, says the referee. Connolly. Farrell looks for the runner. It's O'Connor.
Well, that was a wonderful effort there by Terry Newton. It looked for all the world that a Hull player got it, and he had, but Newton pinched it off him.
Matthew Johns. Oh, Logan was high.
He gave himself up.
And Neil Cowie in it, unimpressed.
Well, it wasn't a swinging arm, it was a grab.
The referee quickly in and telling the Wigan players to disappear.
It was high, no doubt about it, but it was a grab. He was completely beaten, and he could get his marching orders for this. Certainly was bad. Matthew Johns stayed down. Steve Prescott, the whole full back, went and had a few words to Johns and said, get up off the floor, stop play acting.
Well, Scott Logan can breathe a sigh of relief because the referee's called the touch judge on. It's going to go on report.
Well, that's experienced refereeing. I know a lot of people perhaps will say that he's taken the easy option.
Well, Russell Smith sent 4 men off at Salford last week.
It's instinctive reaction, it's a flat hand, and it's going on report. We need a lot of care, Scott, OK?
And I agree with Russell Smith.
And Andy Farrell didn't.
Well, there wasn't a swinging. It was bad, looked awful. He knew he was beaten by the step from Matthew Johns. Not surprisingly, Wigan will take the 2 points on offer. There's Andy Farrell having quite a few words to say to the official also. That's a good old natter, is Andy.
Well, he didn't agree with the decision to place the incident on report, plainly.
Neither did a few thousand Wigan fans.
No. But as I say, Russell Smith certainly brings the red cards with him because he brandished 4 of them at Salford last weekend. Farrell from in front. Well, Scott Logan's penalty and high challenge on the Wigan player. He has cost his team 2 points. We've got news coming in on Jason Smith. Bill.
Yeah, the evening is suddenly turning very sour for Hull FC because Jason Smith, there you can see him sitting on the sidelines alongside Tony Smith. Jason Smith with that right arm in a sling, and the official word from the Hull FC side, the physios, is that he's hyperextended that elbow. It's not a dislocation, but it is very, very painful indeed, and it takes an awful lot to bring a grimace to the face of Jason Smith. Has just done that, and this really could turn out to be an expensive, a costly night for Hull FC now. Tony Smith, groin injury, Jason Smith, that elbow injury, and now Scott Logan on report.
Yes, the curse of the team finishing 3rd place in the Super League table after the weekly rounds. Of all the teams and all the playoff matches that have finished 3rd, there's only one, Bradford last year, who have recorded a victory from 3rd place. And of course Bradford didn't make it to the grand final. Halifax before them, they suffered. And Leeds, of course, they suffered from 3rd place in the playoffs. Amazing. The Poison Chalice is 3rd place in the table. High kick from Farrell. Rayner allowed it to bounce.
Shouldn't have. Should have gone for that very quickly. He made quite a poor kick from Farrell into a very good one indeed.
So here now is Prescott. Newton hit him, helped out by Betts. 10 minutes of this second half gone. Tony Smith, Jason Smith, the engine room of Hull off. Injured. Rayner for the early birds, being roared on by their fans at the other end of the field.
Well, it's going to take something special from Hull now. They've got the experience out there in the forwards, but they're lacking it in the 3/4, and of course, as Eddie mentioned, the engine is off.
Cook with the kick downfield, but the winger David Hodgson had funneled back. Just a little fumble, so it's all on. The Hull players can close in now, and they do. Good chase. Grimaldi been magnificent. Hodgson is all over the top of Logan Campbell. He's got stud marks all down his chest. This is Connolly. You get the feeling Wigan are about to turn the screw. Radlinski, Carney, Campbell and Baird.
Well, they've been given a big enough screwdriver, haven't they? And I'm sure that Stuart Raper will feel a lot more comfortable now that they've kicked that goal. An 8-point margin. And it's just keeping their composure now from the Warriors.
And he gets a penalty, Terry O'Connor. Luke Felsh wouldn't get off him, and it's been taken quickly by Newton. Here is Andrew Farrell, and he is spun into the ground by Logan Campbell.
Great work there by the substitute Campbell.
Now it's with Renoff. Wigan looking to kill this game off.
Hull are looking a little bit dodgy in defence now. They're having to come back and trail around.
And Sean McRae Shane Richardson, Tony Anderson looking very concerned up there in the stands as Wigan go in search of the try that could kill them off. Lamb, quick play the ball. Here they come, Radlinski looking to turn it inside, has to take the tackle from Dion Bird. Last one here, he's backed himself as Newton, he's trapped.
They've got him.
Newton's trapped. Still moving though. Now the tackle's complete. So Hull will have to work this ball away from their own line.
Well, I use the word that composure, it's completely the opposite now for Hull. They've got to really come up with something pretty outstanding, as I mentioned before, and they can't just drive away, because the normal procedure was to utilise the forwards, and when they did get into a good attacking position, they always looked for the likes of Jason Smith and Tony Smith. They aren't there.
Yeah, it's a huge ask now for Paul Cook, who's 20, and Richard Horne, who's 19. Such responsibility on young shoulders for Hull.
But it's nights like this that sometimes you unearth real stars. This is their golden opportunity. It's not going to be easy here at the JJB Stadium against a side that is looking pretty solid in defence now.
Horne with the kick downfield, and he's managed to keep the ball in the field of play. Carney, who has been booed by the Hull crowd whenever he touches the ball. That's a good chase though. Horne leading the way with Marr. They won't turn it in, Hull, that's for sure, despite the fact that they've lost two key players. But Wigan menacing now at the JJB Stadium. Hodgson eventually to his feet.
The one thing that Sean McRae, the Hull coach, has to get out to the message to the players is, look, we've got to keep going here. Don't think about next week. We know we've got a second chance, but you cannot think negative. Be positive out there. You're still in this game. There's only 8 points between you.
Ooh, that was nearly an intercept by Logan Campbell, but here come Wigan. It's now with Renoff. And Wigan starting to fling this ball around. He's lost the ball.
Good work from Grimaldi. As always, working overtime in defence. That was knocked out by Jackson. They may have been looking to get away with that. Certainly looked to be an arm in from the hooker.
Another message goes down from Sean McRae. Steve Renoff tries in each of his last two. 19 tries for the season. 42 in 55 for Wigan before tonight.
There's times like this you do something different. Maybe the kick and chase from the first scrum.
They're on the run around Hull, but that's a great chase down by Radlinski on Paul Cook. There's Steve Prescott taking them on himself, but losing out to Connolly and Radlinski.
Good work from the first and second markers.
Making no ground there.
Look how eager that Wigan defence is.
Oh, they smell blood now.
They are moving up.
Logan. Turning on his back to the Wigan defence. Here's Jackson. Oh, and juggling by Richard Horne. He held on, and then he got the ball away to Logan Campbell. And Campbell's away! He's got support on this way, but he's taking them on. Campbell just cut down by Hodgson.
What a wonderful run.
Rayner.
Got to get the ball out wide.
This is Richard Horne. Richard Horne. It's Luke Phelps. And Luke Phelps is over. Or is it a double movement?
Well, he's looked to see whether the ball carrying arm has stopped and the momentum has stopped.
Has Luke Phelps scored the try?
Well, he's had a wonderful match as the prop forward. It's the ball carrying arm that's down. Is the tackle completed? Does he have a hand on him? That's the big question they'll be asking now from David Furner. Has David Furner got a hand on him? It's going to be very difficult. No doubt in my mind that the ball carrying arm has hit terra firma.
Well, Steve-O, remember the Aussie game last week? Nathan Blacklock was given one of these.
We're in England now.
I realise that, but the point I'm making is they have been given in the recent past.
Well, he's got to make sure, does Furner have full control of this tackle? Now, the right arm has been released there. Does the left arm have any control? No, I think this might be given. I think that when he gets the point of impact with the ball carrying arm, Furner does not have hold of him securely enough for the referee or the video referee to adjudge that he's been tackled. I'm going to go for TRY. I might lose everything, but I'm going to go for it.
Well, Luke Felch is looking at the referee, and the referee at this moment has given it to John Holsworth, the video referee, to make his mind up. We're all waiting here in the studio, in the stadium, and Luke Felch is prowling round. He believes he's scored, but the big call now comes from John Holsworth. What's the decision? The try is given. Hull from somewhere have come back, and Luke Felch, no double movement, and more importantly the tackle not completed by David Furner.
Well, they put that down. A wonderful break from Logan Campbell, put them into the position there. You can see how Matthew Johns had come out of the line, and if ever there's a man out there that deserved a 4-pointer, it's this fella Luke Felch. He has worked overtime. He's had a tremendous season, and obviously the video referee, this is the expression that Stuart Raper had when this is a calm look there from Sean McRae. Breathed a big sigh of relief. They're back in it. Old Faithful, the fans are singing.
They are back in it, and Matt Crowther here to pull Hull back to within 2 points. The flags tell you that this match ain't over yet. 20 points to 18. What a ball it was too from young Richard Horne, and Luke Felch, so experienced, no double movement, just fell over the line with the ball, and Furner's hand wasn't on him. 20 points to 18. What drama is to come?
Well, we said and we knew that they would dig deep, and it was a beautiful pass by Richard Horne, kept his composure there. Matthew Johns came racing out of the line, left a huge gap. Oh, that's a swinging arm there from Cowie. He's got to go and report for that.
Well, Cowie led the protests when Scott Logan felled Adrian Lamb.
Right, stay where you are, Tony.
Well, that is just malicious. We are going to see a lot more about that. He took offence to the fact that he got whacked, and he whacked him back.
And it's Scott Logan, by the way.
Tony.
He'll go and report, he has to. The official cannot ignore this. That was just straight maliciousness.
Listen to me, mate. I think I know and you'll know it wasn't on the collar, so let's be sensible. Paz, have a word. I want Neil, no more of that in the game at all. Make sure you're on report, mate. Any more of that, you could be in serious trouble.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, it was Scott Logan who felt that from Neil Cowie, and it was Scott Logan who caught Adrian Lamb high, and he's on report, and Cowie was the first to him to lead the protest. Well, that, I think, was a bit of absence.
Well, I'm telling you, we will not hear the end of that one. That is for sure. And the way that the disciplinary committee have been seeing things of late, Mr. Cowie could be in a bit of trouble.
Well, we shall see. Never mind a bit of trouble at the disciplinary, and Cowie is running around and is putting himself about.
Well, Wigan, if they get sucked into this sort of game, they could lose this match, because instead of playing football against a side that looked as though they were tiring...
What a pass to Jackson! On the inside it goes to Maiden, just slipped at the vital moment. Howard finished him off. Here is Steve Prescott. Now it's with Richard Horne. Horne to Cook, who called for it. The charge from Adam Marr.
What a tackle from Matthew Johns it had to be. He was sailing through as Marr.
Cook to Horne, a stab into the in-goal area. They're taking no chances now.
Just got to it there, Radlinski. Beautiful kick. Oh, superb kick there. It was Richard Horne that got the boot to the ball there. He knows he's under pressure, Stuart Raper.
Stuart Raper came to this ground the first time that Wigan played here with Castleford, and he masterminded a victory for the Castleford Tigers against Wigan that put them out of the playoffs. Tonight, Stuart Raper's watching his men, his Wigan men this time, and they're in a real battle against Hull. And what intensity we've got in these playoffs. People knocked them when they were brought in, Steve-O. but over the 4 years now that they've been in existence, we have been treated to some wonderful entertainment.
Outstanding. And Stuart Raper knows only too well that his side are getting a little bit rattled. He's got to get that message out, especially to his skipper. And the forwards say, come on, this game is still ours. We cannot get sucked into a big arm wrestle, a big fight.
Just over an hour gone, and this game is not over yet. It's Logan Campbell, it's Scott Logan again. Getting the Logans and McCampbells mixed up. This is Adam Marr, offloaded to Richard Horn. Connolly with a great tackle. Jackson quickly in at dummy half. Cook to Broadbent, and Broadbent keeps going to within 10 metres of that line. Howard and Farrell are there, and eventually Paul Broadbent falls. Last one.
It's got to be a good kick.
Jackson stabbed to the in goal, and Carney shuts the jet.
So close. That'll be a dropout from underneath. Well, two wonderful kicks. This time from Jackson, well weighted. Carney was under pressure. We're all under pressure. That's what the playoffs are all about. Well weighted. He did well, did Brian Carney.
Well, they're delighted. They've had two big blows with the two Smiths, Jason and Tony, off injured, but their players are battling for their lives. And Wigan know that in a match. Farrell with a dropout from underneath the sticks. Time back on by the referee. Good length on the kick. Prescott took it well. Tips it inside to Broadbent. Back comes Broadbent. Newton launched at him.
Launched high as well.
Jackson, was that touched? It went backwards, says the referee. Play on. Hull with Horn.
Ooh, that could have been an obstruction.
And it is.
Oh, just a lack of concentration there. Well, I think a bit of justice has been served then. Just before that, I thought that was a definite knock-on. This is it. Oh, that went forward. And he obviously deemed the Betts didn't touch it, otherwise it would have gone back to the restart. There you see Dion Bird just gone in front. Oh.
No, it's...
Tense times.
It is. He's normally so unflappable on the side, Sean McRae, but even the tension of this situation is getting to him. Well, you know, when you look back over this match, the Crowther kick that came back off the posts.
Yep.
Here's the
and that's
man
why,
of the match numbers, by the way.
That's why I think Wigan will go for the 1 point.
They're looking for more here with Farrell. And by the way, when you ring that number, you're putting yourself in line for a couple of tickets to the first test. Great Britain against the Aussies, the Ashes series, this year on Sky Sports, and you can be there at the first test at Huddersfield. It's now Matthew Johns. Dennis Betts, support from Johns, out it goes. Oh, bravery from Rayner. So close.
Why did they keep the ball alive? He knows it's Stuart Raper. He had the golden opportunity to just put that kick through. They tried to be too fancy. Was wonderful scrambling defence. Prescott got to him and Rayner put his body on the line, and Stuart Raper knows that he's missed a golden opportunity to turn the screw.
There's more injury trouble for Hull in back play. Steve Prescott is receiving treatment as away they go. This is Richard Horn.
Boy,
what a tackle from Radlinski.
It had to be, but he had people in support on the inside.
They're flooding forward now, the black and whites. Dion Bird, David Maiden. They have a man on the overlap and they come into the middle. Oh, it's been pinched by Betts. Dennis Betts is away. Maiden gets the tackle in.
What action.
What a game.
Unbelievable stuff here.
Connolly now for Wigan.
Well, surely Wigan won't mess this chance up.
Connolly, they can't get him down. Broadbent shows how it should be done.
What's left in the tank? Who's got the most fuel?
This is Cowie. He bumps away from Dion Bird. He tries to get the pass away. Richard Horn upstairs. Lee Jackson down below. Newton to Matty Johns. Johns then to Farrell. Farrell to Renoff. Great tackle, Campbell. Here is Adrian Lamb. Adrian Lamb just drops the shoulder, but Grimaldi and Broadbent get to him. 4 gone this set of 6. Oh, it's tense at the JJB. And here is Farrell. Farrell out wide. There's a chance here for Dennis Betts. He's over.
He got it down too.
He's over, is Betts.
They took the short side option and they paid off. He'll give this.
He has in consultation with his touch judge. They didn't blow the chance. Dennis Betts with a vital try on his 50th appearance as a substitute tonight. And Dennis Betts comes up with a try that could turn this playoff Wigan's way.
And not only that, it was Betts that came up with the intercept that denied Hull not only the ball, but a wonderful position to launch in another attack. Superb pass by Andy Farrell, missed out too, and Betts, he's been down this road many times, the professional, and this is the intercept. It looked for all the world as though it was going to be a big gamble from Betts. There was a huge gap, and it's Farrell. Captain Marvel gets it out wide. They couldn't get to him. That says it all.
Well, frustration for Sean McRae, but delight for Dennis Betts. And if you remember, Dennis Betts scored the first ever Wigan try on this ground in that playoff clash with Castleford a couple of years ago. Well, this is the start of the playoffs. Whoever loses this has another chance. Tomorrow night, whoever loses kisses goodbye to the season. You're in for a treat over the next 4 weeks till we get to the grand final. Farrell with the conversion, he's kicked it! Farrell's kicked it! Daylight between the two again, 26-18. But he's not breathing any the easier, Stuart Raper. Well, Dennis Betts, all the experience in the world. We talk about the inches between success and failure. That interception from Betts, crucial.
Not only that, also the slowing down of the ball when the kick went Grimaldi, which allowed Radlinski to score just before the half-time break. Betts juggling with the football, doing the juggling act, taking the ball, takes the intercept, turns it all around, and it's Betts yet again. You wouldn't bet on it.
Well, if you're a stranger to the playoff system, do you know what the prize is for the winners? A trip to Bradford next Sunday night. Phil, it looks like it might be Wigan now.
Yeah, it did. They made a very good start, didn't they, to the second half, Wigan, and they prevented Hull any time at all in possession in the Wigan half. But the first time they got it, they took full advantage, and that try from Luke Felch was in fact the first time Hull have scored points in the second half of a match against Wigan. It's given them some confidence, and although there's still an 8-point gap, you certainly can't see them giving up just yet.
Farrell on the break gets to the halfway line. This is an important period of the match now. If Wigan score next, you think it's all over. And here comes Lamb, and Lamb to Renoff, but they're waiting for him. Logan Campbell, he's done a fine job, despite the fact that they've lost Jason Smith. They're going down the short side, Wigan. Good ball, Hodgson. And Hodgson flicks it inside, gifts it to Grimaldi.
Oh, Stuart Raper will be absolutely livid with that.
Penalty to Hull. Adrian Lamb stealing the ball. Or rather not releasing him as he tried to play the ball.
Why on earth they need to do that? They are in full control of this game. They know that Hull have to score twice. Well, the pressure is getting even to some of the more experienced players out there.
Well, the grand final is what this is all about. It's Saturday, October the 13th, of course. Your information number, 0113 244 114, 9 AM Monday morning, Super League Europe, kick-off 6:30. It's at Old Trafford, the Theatre of Dreams, and any other information you might require is on that number and also on our website. All the W's, skysports.com. Grimaldi gets the ball away to Maiden. Maiden thought about slipping the pass.
Beautiful offloads there, two in succession.
Jackson now, here's Paul Cook, and finds Richard Horn. Back on the inside they come, and Cowie with a desperate tackle on Adam Marr. But Hull are 5 metres away. A dab through by Cook. Is it in?
He's in there.
Lee Jackson! He's gone to the video referee. It's on to the video referee again. John Holsworth. He's on overtime tonight.
Onside, just check down.
He'll be on Valium tonight, never mind overtime. Well, it looks okay. And Paul Cook, well, we mentioned about 15 minutes ago that the two youngsters, Richard Horn and Paul Cook, they had to stand up and be counted. No doubt, this is TRY. This game is far from over.
It is not over. It's the third time they've gone to the video referee to decide on a Hull try, and that looked perfect, and it is. Maiden, Felsh and now Jackson have all benefited from John Holdsworth's decision as the video referee. 4 tries this year, that one absolutely vital. It ain't over yet.
You are so right, Eddie. And this is a pressure one, it's right in front.
No problems. Down to 2 points again, 26-24.
Well, this is a wonderful effort. Stand tall, young they may be, but stand tall they have be going to. It's wonderful stuff. I just can't believe what. I'm absolutely speechless that this side has just not given in. Stuart Raper, he knows perfectly well, and he will go back to that David Hodgson pass deep down in the Hull quarter that has given Hull the possession. It's all about control, Eddie.
It is, and Jackson's try gives Hull hope, and they're just 2 points away. Well, a penalty now for Hull in kicking range. You know, we could be on the way to the first playoff match. An extra time. And a penalty to Hull.
He pushed him, did O'Connor. They are beginning to lose the plot.
No doubt about it. Not allowed. It's one of the 7 deadly sins this year, that, isn't it? We haven't mentioned that for a while.
Less than 10 now. No one's leaving here, that's for sure.
I bet nobody's touching that button on their TV set either. We've got 9 minutes to go. Another offload. Jackson.
Well, all of a sudden, this Wigan defence has just gone dead.
And here is Paul King.
Look how easy they're getting over the advantage line with the forwards.
Jackson again. There's Paul Cook. It goes wide to Campbell. A little dab over the top. Oh, not the best kick. Hodgson. And Campbell, the man following up to pull Hodgson down.
Well, that was a flat finish. They really needed something better than that. The previous 2 kicks have been quite superb. And the crunches are still going on out there.
Quick penalty now against Adam Maher. He was in the ruck. And so Wigan gain about 15 valuable metres, and Stuart Raper's down on the touchline, prowling. He knows he's 8 minutes away from a date with Bradford next Sunday, a match that will take the winners through to Old Trafford. And they're looking for it, Wigan. They fancy the chance. It's with Betts.
Surely they'll go towards the sticks. We've seen over the past few weeks how important this drop goal can be.
This is Lamb. He's tackled by Jackson, who has come on and played his part in this. Here is Matthew Johns. Carney wanted the kick to the in-goal area. Johns has spun away from 2.
Is that a big game?
Well, they're so close to the sticks now. Will they go for it? Farrell, 1 point. He'll take it. That could be the point that takes Wigan to Valley Parade.
And that's the reason why Stuart Raper came down onto the sideline, to make sure that his skipper took the opportunity. They blew it on 2 occasions before, and he knew that he had to get the message out. He knew that that 1 point could just be what they need to just sneak away sufficiently to hang on for this. And boy, oh boy, the Warriors are hanging on for this. Now they will Hull go for the short one. Surely they've got to come up with something.
Well, no, they've gone deep. They've gone deep with the kick-off from Prescott. And of course, Hull, they only have to score a try and they will take the lead. We all talk about, when we mention Wigan Hull, the Wembley Challenge Cup final of 1985, the Kenny and Sterling Classic. It really was the best Wembley final of all time. This is a classic of its own kind. And here's Hodgson.
Oh, why has he thrown the ball yet again? What on earth are they doing out there?
Radlinski claims he was taken out without the football. And I think he's got a case. Here is Adam Maher.
But more to the point, why on earth are they trying to keep this ball alive?
Well, Radlinski was definitely taken out. But here come Hull again with Dion Bird. He flicks the ball back. Cook, he gives it to Prescott. Big hit from Harvey Howard.
Oh, was Was it ever?
A grand final winner last year with the Brisbane Broncos. Prescott looking for a penalty, none forthcoming. Paul King!
Will Jackson go on his own?
Well, he's looking, he's scheming, he's found Cook. And Cook will dab it to the in-goal area. And they can't take any chances.
That's what they need. And he'll be saying, repeat, repeat. Put the pressure on.
They can't have any fingernails left, the coaches.
Another great kick from Paul Cook. Oh, stand tall, all you players.
What a match.
Once again, you have done us proud.
It's 4 tries apiece. Just the boot of Andy Farrell separates Wigan from Hull, 27-24. The call was from Prescott. He said, that's mine, and Steve Prescott will run this ball back again.
Well, it looked very leaden-footed there, and I think that all the players out there must be getting and feeling the tension and the pressure.
Crowder, it's not completed the tackle, now it is. Jackson to Broadbent. Broadbent up the middle.
Now what can Cook or Horn produce here?
Well, here is Horn. Little drop of the shoulder, and Cassidy got to him, so too did O'Connor. Jackson, here's Paul King. Ooh. That's the last tackle. Jackson gives it to Richard Horn. Good ball from Cook. This is Logan Campbell.
It'll be the turnover. Great defence from Wigan. Superb. They took the option to run it on the last.
You'd think this was for Old Trafford. It isn't. It's for the prize of Bradford next Sunday night. There's still a long, long way for both these clubs to go before they can start talking about a grand final. But what a match, what a start we've had to the playoff series. 27-24, 4 minutes to go. A try from Hull would win it, but Wigan are in possession with Carney, former Hull man, scorer of one of their tries tonight for Wigan.
That's the key word, Eddie, possession, and that's what Wigan have got to do, is just keep hold of it. Nothing outrageous, nothing stupid, basic rugby league football.
Here is Lamb, it goes wide to Radlinski, up the middle with Betts. And Betts takes the tackle about 8 metres away from the halfway line. Last one.
What an impact Logan Campbell has had on this game.
Grimaldi collided with Adrian Lamb. The kick is down the throat of Prescott. And here come Hull again. Good chase. Cassidy leading the way with help from young Stephen Wild.
Well, he can hardly walk, Steve Prescott. He's had a lot of work to do tonight, as they all have.
3 minutes to go, 3 points the difference. Maiden, Lamb and Cassidy. Stuart Raper can hardly watch. Bird, Cassidy again, a terrier in defence. Jackson, wide to Cook. Back it goes to Richard Horn. Horn has got Wild all over him. That's the last. Hull will have to kick and chase.
That's good work from young Stephen Wild there.
There's the kick from Jackson. He's turned Radlinski round, but the chase isn't crash hot. Get him low. It's Maiden who's leading the way. He's on his own. Oh, and he gets to him. Radlinski slipped, to be fair. Hodgson, tackled by Cook. They're hunting the mistake, Hull. Wigan looking for the break, and they've got the mistake, Wigan. It was offside.
Well, they had to apply the pressure, they had to get into their faces. They knew that they had to try to get the mistake. And when you take the gamble, sometimes you get caught, especially on that short side. And they were. David Maiden, who's played hard throughout, and well, this has been an absolutely extraordinary game. Full credit to both sides. They put their bodies on the line, but
well, Wigan have had to dig deep, haven't they?
When you lose the likes of Tony Smith and Jason Smith, we spoke about losing the engine. That's great work from Grimaldi. He went backwards. Tremendous. Oh no, don't tell me he's got it.
Went forward. No, you knocked it forward, mate.
Oh, I think he's been badly done to there.
Swing it out. Pull it out, pull it forward.
Well, where's he got the knock on there? How on earth has he come up with a knock on?
Paul King saying one-on-one.
It was one-on-one. Oh, that's a bitter blow.
Well, the referee deeming that Grimaldi's grab went forwards in the first instance, and Sean McRae is, I think, on your side. Hodgson into the last minute, 3 points the difference.
Surely another one-pointer.
It's with Stephen Wild. Oh, he slipped and he fooled the defender that was King, and here goes Wild. Hauled down by Crowther. Now then, Carney, can he seal it for Wigan?
He's had a big game, the winger. He's been a firebrand, he's been hard to handle.
Half a minute remaining. Newton will fire it to Lamb. They'll try and stretch them out wide. Ferner gets the ball away to Farrell, and Farrell eventually is upended about 3 metres short. Last one here. Cassidy went without it. Grimaldi's got it back.
Ooh, talk about tension getting to all the players.
Well, 15 seconds remaining.
Kick and chase time, you've got to.
Well, they're at the wrong end, Hull.
They've got to kick and chase, they've got Redlinski to beat. He's got to get woofed it.
Up the forward. Bird dumps the ball over the top, and Cook just hammers it downfield. Maiden inevitably leading the chase, and here comes Hodgson. Andy Farrell says, just take the tackle, let's get off here, and they will. Oh, that's what playoff football does to coaches. Stuart Rapers as exhausted as everybody else. What a match, what a fantastic match to kick off the 2001 playoff series, and Wigan have won it. Sean McRae's men gave their all, but in the end, Brian Carney, once of Hull, now of Wigan, they have won it, and they will now play Bradford at Valley Parade next Sunday night. The winners of that goes forward to Old Trafford. Hull will play the winners of tomorrow night between Saints and Leeds when there's no second chance. A fantastic start to the playoffs.
Well, thank you, Richard. Yeah, well, it's for the 17 boys out there. I don't want to go through that again. That's a hard stopper, that one. But fair play to Hull. You know, my old club last year, they came here, they've done a brilliant job, and I'm just glad we won it in the end. Thanks, Brian. They put the coaches through the mincer as well. They sure did for you, didn't they, Stuart?
Yeah, I mean, they did. Hull kept coming. I knew they would, and you know, I've got to give all credit to them. I didn't think we played that well, but I thought they took every opportunity and they kept coming at us, and we panicked a little bit in certain sense in different areas. Thankfully enough, we got over the line and got the points up. But you know, we're a bit lucky tonight, and you know, I'll be working hard on the players this week. That's for sure.
Thanks a lot for joining us, Stuart. Sean McRae alongside, and I mean, what a night for you. A performance like that, and you've still lost Tony Smith and Jason Smith.
Yeah, Jason Smith's gone now. He's finished.
Is that it?
Yeah, dislocated elbow. He's out. He won't play again this season, and that's a major blow. And I don't think Tony Smith will play again because he couldn't come back to the second half. He's obviously in some trouble with that groin injury, but absolutely delighted with the effort of the players. Naturally disappointed, but you know, we put enough pressure on to show that I don't think we're pretenders. I think we're contenders, and I was, you know, really happy for the players. And with an ounce of luck, maybe we would have got away with a victory.
Thanks a lot for joining us, Sean.
Cheers, Bill.
Well done to the coaches for facing the cameras after that. John Scully of Wigan.